Welcome back to another video. This look is courtesy of a Twitch stream that I did. I'm on Twitch now, and you can find all the details of that on my Twitter. I will not be linking it in this video because I want to dedicate this video to mental health awareness, and today we are going to be talking about the lack of mental health awareness in not just the ex-Muslim community but in general, but specifically about the ex-Muslim community. Now, before I get into the actual video, there is an endorsement that I made that I will now have to retract. I had, on my Twitter, endorsed Faithless Hijabi's mental health campaign because I had asked what the credentials were of the therapists, and the information was provided to me, and I checked it out. The credentials are fine. It's actually run by Cherry Tree Clinic, which is the current place where I get my therapy. So I know the therapy is good, and I had endorsed specifically the mental health campaign. However, I am going to have to retract that now because it has come to my attention that you may be denied service if you have any kind of affiliation with me. And it is really, really disappointing because it is actually a really, really good service. Now, if you still want to go and get mental health support from Faithless Hijabi, please feel free to, because Cherry Tree Clinic is reputable, especially if you're in the UK. However, such outlets do not exist in the US, which has been largely stated as the reason for the denial, even though from what I have seen and from what people have sent to me, and then I have later addressed with other people privately, it seems as though she does tend to bring me up in conversation as if I'm damaging her organization. I just want to make it very, very clear that if you are unprofessional and things go under your radar that shouldn't go under your radar, I am not the one doing damage by bringing it up. I am bringing it up because it's going under the radar and it shouldn't be. I don't know why certain people, and I'm not going to mention them, have chosen to see me as this massive villain for stating that there are discrepancies within a charity that should prioritize our most vulnerable people, people who need mental health support. Anyway, I am now retracting my endorsement for the simple fact that people can be denied or neglected on the very simple issue that they have any affiliation with me. Moving on. The next thing that I want to acknowledge before starting the video is that I'm aware that Interest Miles is watching all of these videos, and I do not appreciate him using my content. However, he is allowed to by every jurisdiction there is, so there's no way I can stop him. But please do be aware that there will be an Interest Miles video coming up sometime in mid-December when I will be no longer on hiatus. I am currently still on hiatus, and these are the issues that I would like to focus on right now. That being my experience in the ex-Muslim community. And please do not mistake my videos as gospel, as 100% fact. This is just my experience within the community and things that I personally have noticed. Now that that is, for the moment, what I have, I would also like to say that these videos are largely unedited, so if that is not your cup of tea, I guess I will see you another time. And yeah, this is just going to be me today talking about the lack of mental health awareness in the ex-Muslim community, and that's about it. I have my sheet of notes in red ink for whatever reason, and we're gonna get started. I would also like to acknowledge my new subscribers that came over from Kraut's channel. Thank you, Kraut, for giving me a shout out. It was very kind of you to do that. And for those of you who are new here, hi, welcome to my channel. We don't always know what's going on here, but we're here. That's about as much as I can say about the channel. So welcome to the new topic. I have started a playlist for all of these videos so that you can go and check them out yourself, and it is called The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Ex-Muslim Community, and I think this is the 4th or 5th video, I'm not sure. So last week we had talked about lax humanism and performative activism, and why it's important that we call it out, and why we cannot let certain ideas just constantly be perpetuated by our larger figures without holding them accountable. Today we're going to be talking about the wonderful world of ignorance around mental health. Now, don't get me wrong. Mental health awareness is lacking in a lot of spheres. It's lacking in general. Many people still do not understand mental illness and how it is treated, and many people still have just really poor preconceived notions about medication and mental health in general. However, it is particularly disappointing that we have a lack of mental health awareness in the ex-Muslim community. There have been instances in this community where mental health has been used as a reason to distrust someone's word or negate someone's experience, which I personally think is really just cruel. It's really cruel. You can't do that to people. It's like saying just because your leg is broken, there is no way that someone hurt you. It doesn't make sense for people to do that. Many of us in the ex-Muslim community come from a traumatic background. I'm not saying all, but many of us do. And it has not been some small issue that people who have not faced trauma or have faced a certain type of trauma has used other people's trauma against them. And it's really disappointing that that has happened. I come from a background of trauma. Loads and loads of people come from backgrounds of trauma that include physical, verbal, psychological, mental, sexual, and neglectful behavior. And we as a community should better understand these things when we are talking about certain individuals and talking about their past, and being aware that these are things that we as a community, and a majority even, I would say, of our community has experienced, and we should be more understanding to that. And despite all of this, whether or not you have a traumatic past, everyone, with no exception, struggles with mental health issues to a lesser or greater degree. Everyone does. Everyone has been stressed at one point in their life. Everyone has been upset at one point in their life. Everyone struggles with mental illness, and this is something that we should be more sensitive to in general. What are some common mental health issues that I have noticed in the ex-Muslim community that I think we should all be sensitive to? And I'm not saying that I'm like this religious leader where you have to do everything that I say. I'm just making some helpful suggestions. So here's the list for, I guess, the trolls to pick apart. Anxiety, depression, PTSD or complex PTSD, which later can develop into fibromyalgia, disordered eating or disordered sleeping, trust-related issues, abandonment issues, body dysmorphia, and suicidal inclination or ideation. These are common things that I've seen in the ex-Muslim community because of the trauma they have faced from their backgrounds. And these are also widely experienced issues, and that we should all make moves in order to understand better. Now, there is definitely a nature versus nurture. Some of these things are inherited through genetics. If you have mental illness within your family history, you're more likely to have mental illness. And some of it is through what has happened to you, through your environment. So, for example, my PTSD is brought from, certain people in my family trying to kill me. And that is just something that I have had to work on. Fibromyalgia is a physical illness that develops from complex PTSD or PTSD, where you start feeling aches and pains, you start feeling extremely tired, and it's extremely difficult to diagnose as well, because the symptoms of fibromyalgia are so similar to other, physical ailments and mental health issues. Now, aside from this, there is also a medication stigma. I am not someone to sit here and judge a bunch of people who take medication, and I would never do that because I myself take medication. But medication, or taking medication, or being prescribed medication, does not make you a weak person. It never has, and it never will. If anything, it shows your own maturity to be able to take control of your mental health problems. Myself, I am currently on antidepressants. It's called sertraline. I'm taking a 50 milligram dose every day, and it was something that I started in January. And maybe I could make a more extended video of my experience on medication and all of the sort of stupid things that happened around it. But medication does not make you weak. If you break your leg, again, a physical ailment, if you break your leg and then you don't go to the doctor, you are not a stronger person for doing that. If you have a mental illness and your doctor prescribes you medication, and obviously you are at your own volition to take it, if you need it and you take it, that does not make you weak. It just makes you appear that you are taking control of something that is debilitating you, and that is all there is to it. Now, to talk about myself and my mental health issues, because of course we have to talk about it. This is my experience in the ex-Muslim community. Now, I have suffered with depression since forever, as long as I can remember. Obviously it wasn't diagnosed until 2016-ish, and it has been something quite crippling. You know, I've always been focused on my own mortality, on my own presence in this universe and what I mean to the world, even though my personal, you know, experience may be completely negligible. But it has always sort of plagued me, and it's a big stressor for my depression. I also had some minor anxiety issues a few years ago, which was taken care of through cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT. I actually had a wonderful therapist who walked me through all of the steps to help sort all of that out, and he was extremely understanding of everything. And it also helped that he was from a similar background that I was. So it really did help reduce a lot of my PTSD and my anxiety. And then I've already mentioned I'm already on medication. I've been on medication twice. I was on medication for about 6 months in 2016, 2017, and then I went off that batch. I think that was called citalopram, and now I'm on sertraline as of February of this year, and I'm still currently on it. I don't know if it's the right medication for me. I'm currently under assessment for bipolar disorder or bipolar depression, and I will be submitting a report that I've been keeping tabs on for over the month to my GP later this week, so that they can properly assess whether or not this is the disorder that I have, and then my medication might change. And by the way, taking medication, especially when you start, is extremely difficult because it completely changes your body chemistry. So being able to cope with that and then continue and then take every day as it comes is a struggle. And I'm not just saying that about myself, I'm saying that about anyone who struggles with mental health issues and wants to actively make themselves better. You know, maybe not cure themselves, but help to reduce their ailment. And there have definitely been things that people have said to me where they have used my mental health issues or my trauma against me, and it's just not okay. There have been partners that I've had who have used the fact that my family was particularly abusive against me, where they have said, it's no wonder that your dad almost tried to kill you, or it's no wonder people tried to force you into a marriage because you're like this, or you're like that. And there have been other times where I will tell people about an experience that I've had, and then they will dismiss it as, oh, Faye, you're just crazy. Oh, you're just a bipolar drama queen, which is a more recent one that has happened. Or they have said, oh, Faye, you're just projecting your experience on what you've experienced now, which, by the way, is gaslighting. I know what I have experienced. I am a cognizant human being, and I am aware of what has happened to me, and I don't need you to superimpose your interpretation of my mental health onto my experience. Just take what I'm telling you and then work from there. And I think that I have tried to take responsibility as much as I can for my mental health issues, and it's really, really not helpful that anytime I am struggling with something or I have something to talk about, that people are like, get back into therapy or go take your medication. It's extremely dismissive and extremely hurtful, and it's not okay. And I'm not just saying that for me, I'm talking about people who suffer with this. So that is the conclusion of my video. People should be more aware of mental health issues and the implications that it has for the people who suffer with them, and also that we should be more sensitive to this in our community especially, because there are so many of us that struggle with these issues. So the next few videos, I'm going to talk about inflammation in the ex-Muslim community, and I'm going to talk about abuse around sex and toxic masculinity. Sorry, slipping up on my words. Toxic masculinity in the ex-Muslim community, which I think will be the last two that I will cover, at least for a little while, before I return to my normal video schedules. I also want to link some mental health services that I've scoped out for the person that I mentioned before, not by name, but the person that I'd mentioned before who got denied service. I will be linking those in the description as well as the pinned comment below. As always, if you have something to share, if you have something to tell me, if you have criticism to share with me, please do feel free to do so in the comment section below. I welcome everybody. And if you are interested in anything else that I do, please do check out all of the links in the description below. I'm always happy to see you guys on my other social media platforms. And what do you think of my tree? What do you think about artwork? This backdrop is going to change soon, by the way, because I've ordered a tapestry to put up instead of, as much as I enjoy the tinfoil, it is very shiny in here, and I'm not sure how I feel about it. But anyway, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Take care of your mental health, be safe, be strong, and yeah, I will see you.